and then endosteal. So this is that appositional thing going on. And then these are controlled by some hormones go on, and then also by some mechanisms itself. So we're going to talk hormones first. Oh my, this looks like a feedback loop, and these are both negative feedback loops. Which sounds like they might make great essays for your next test. And I actually have them on word forms in the next thing. So we're just going to look at this, but then we're going to put them in words. So that'll make it a little bit better going on. So what happens with your calcium in your blood if your calcium level gets too high? Well, if your calcium level gets too high, then your thyroid gland, ever heard of that, is going to release a hormone called calcitonin. And what the calcitonin is going to do, it is going to tell, because it's like, hey, we got way too much calcium. It's going to tell your osteoblasts, hey, we probably need to start building some bone. I need you to take this extra calcium and do something with it. It's going to stimulate your osteoblasts to start working. And it's going to tell your osteoclast, hey, stop putting calcium in the blood because you quit breaking down that bone. We got too much of it here. So it's going to stimulate your osteoblasts. It's going to inhibit your osteoclast. And then we're going to make new bone. And this will just continue until we get back to homeostasis. So here's our gland, here's our hormone. Osteoblasts are going to increase, like they got these workers. Blast, we need you to make. Class, you stop right now. Okay. And then what happens the other way? Well, what happens if we get too low? Then we have another gland, and it's right below your thyroid, or it's actually on the lower part of your thyroid. You have what's called the parathyroid gland. So the parathyroid, not your thyroid, but your parathyroid is going to release the hormone called PTH, which is called parathyroid hormone. You may put PTH. And this is going to do the opposite because a while ago we said, blast, you work, class, you stop. This is going to say, class, your turn. I need you to break down some of this bone material, and blast, you need to stop for a second. You need to stop building. And so we're going to break down some of the bone, and then we're going to send that extra calcium to the blood. So this is your 2 essays for next test. What happens if your calcium levels get too high? What happens if your calcium levels get too low? Okay, I do have it in word form, and I found a nice little diagram, so I'll upload this new to this. I like this diagram. In fact, so this is the too high. You don't have a lot of room to write in that little area on your note page, so you might want to write small, I guess, or just write. So this is if you're too high, and I would like all of this. So what am I talking about too high? Your calcium levels in your blood. Calcium levels in your blood. So if your calcium levels in your blood are too high, the thyroid, I made it green, the thyroid gland releases the hormone calcitonin. I put the hormone in red there. So what the calcitonin, the hormone, is going to tell the osteoblasts, so stimulate means osteoblast, I need you to work. Osteoclast, inhibit means stop. Osteoclast, you stop. Okay? And what that's going to do is we're going to start building more bone. Well, in order to build bone, we got to have the calcium. So we'll remove the calcium from the blood to build bone. Think of calcium as like the cement that we need to build a house. Like, oh, we need to take all that cement out of the truck to start making it. Blood is like the truck. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So the calcitonin says, hey, blast, you work. Class, you stop working. And then we're going to take this calcium, give it to the osteoblast to lay down more bone. That's exactly what happens. Negative feedback. Negative feedback means The body senses something negative has happened and it does something to fix it. It is negative feedback. It's a good thing. This is the way it's supposed to work. You will also learn about calcitonin plays a part in your urinary system, because what you're going to see that calcitonin is also going to send some of that calcium out of your urine as well. But we're not doing the urinary system. We're doing the skeletal system right now. But you'll learn that in A&P 2. So what happens if we're too high? Well, if we're too high, then we've got a different gland. The parathyroid gland is going to release what's called the parathyroid hormone, which you may put as PTH. I'm fine with you putting PTH on the test. Okay, so the PTH is going to do opposite what we just did up there. Okay, it's going to take the class and say, now your turn. You work, you break down bone. Blast, you stop building for a second. I need you to halt. And then we're going to break down bone and we're going to send that calcium. Oh, I got some sort of period thing. I'll fix that before I upload that PowerPoint. Okay, so bone's going to be broken down. The calcium that we get from that's going to be sent to the bloodstream because the bloodstream needed it. It's like, hey, I'm too low. Because you need calcium for more than just your bones. You need it for your teeth and you need it for your muscle movement. You need calcium for lots of things other than just making bone. People think it's just bone, but it's not. So your blood needs to keep a good level of calcium. That is your essays, plural, for Unit 3 test. Okay, 5 points apiece, and some of you I know are just like, oh well, I'm not going to do the essay. But that's you can, it's just fine. You can do that. Okay. All right. So then we also have bone remodeling based on just your activity in general, right? So if you're just going to lay in the bed all the time and your bones don't need to grow, then you're not going to have a lot of bone remodeling going on, not a lot of demand, so your bones will start to. So mechanical mechanisms is just basically response to gravity and muscle using. Your muscles pull on those bones, demand more of the bones. Your bones are going to like, okay, well, we need to grow more. So this is that appositional growth. And I've said it a few times, if you bulk up with muscle or you use muscles, and so those bones are being moved by the muscles, you're going to get wider bones. If you're heavy, unfortunately, that's a lot of gravity pulling down on those bones. So you are going to increase the osteoblast osteoclast as a response. So you do get bigger bones. So if you have a bigger body, you do have bigger bones. And so this is just showing remodeling as the bones have gotten thicker. And it's happened your whole life. It's just how it's grown wider, basically.